Cody, you and I share the same opinion on this. Almost, I think by the end of the season, we'll be able to consider Oxford a paper tiger. I really do. I think that their non-divisional slate is weak enough that they're going to win a lot of football games, but when they get into the postseason, it's going to be tough sledding. A lot of that because last year, if you watched Oxford, you saw the dual quarterback situation with the Grandjean brothers. Oldest graduated, the younger one now transferring out. No starting experience in a varsity football game under center for the Chargers.
Yeah, it's tough. You also lost your starting running back. Your second string only had 310 rush yards last year. You've got a lot to replace. They made it to the second round where they lost to the eventual state runner-up in Starkville last year. Had a solid record, 9-4, went undefeated in region play. But like you said, it's the big question mark is that who's under center? Who's under center? And
from what I've heard, at least talking to people in Oxford, it's going to be a sophomore. I haven't gotten the name yet, or if I have, I haven't committed it to memory. We will see them, obviously, at some point this year for the MAC South Game of the Week. But it's going to be tough sledding for Oxford this year. But like you said, the division for Oxford is not great. I mean, look at the schedule.
Yeah, well, I also, sticking with the quarterback real quick, to me, if Michael Grandjean stays, doesn't transfer out, the younger of the brothers, he was a sophomore last year, he's a junior this year, those two split time.
Yeah.
And the younger, Michael, played significantly better.
I think that he was the better of the two. I think the offense was more dynamic with him under center. I think he used his legs a lot more. I think he got a little more panicked under pressure, but he's a sophomore playing 7A football.
Yeah, 14 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He only had 2 touchdowns on the ground, but 550 rush yards. And then he had 12, almost 1,300 yards in the air. With time and development, I think that's a guy that could really push a program forward. And I just, for Oxford, I think that's a huge loss.
It is. It's a monumental loss. But like I said, looking at the schedule, we go into non-divisional. You start off with Lafayette. You expect to win that one if you're a 7A football program. South Panola. Toss-up. I think you could take the win. It's week 2. If it becomes a war of attrition, I think Oxford's got it. Grenada, Tupelo, Starkville. Then you get into division. Horn Lake, DeSoto Central, South Haven, Lewisburg, and Hernando. Hernando had a very good football team last year. Not sure what they're going to be doing this year. They're not in our coverage area. I haven't got to do my research on them. But that is definitely the weaker division out of the north of 7A football.
And that's what gives them a chance. The question mark is,
what happens when you get to the postseason?
Correct. And you've mentioned it, and I will keep mentioning it. The loss of a quarterback is just monumental.
Yeah.
It's very hard to overcome that.
Well, not only that, they're down and you and I can both attest to this, a real weapon that they had was their special teams unit with William Wilkinson.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was. That kid could kick.
Yeah. I mean, gave Oxford great starting field position on almost every defensive possession last year, was pretty much automatic from any placeholder's position. I think they're going to really miss his activity on the special teams unit.
Yeah, it may not be someone who shows up flashy in stats and all of that jazz, the box score, but he made more of a difference than you realize.
He was the reason they were in that Starkville game late.
Yeah. Just kept on pinning Starkville back, made life difficult for him. Yeah, he's a piece that you're going to miss. He's a guy that at the college level, he might help you out every once in a while, but at the high school level,
we can help you out.
When you have a leg like that and no one else does, that's, believe it or not, that position is an X factor in that situation.
Completely agree.